Hello, once again, everyone, on this beautiful Saturday night. It is 11:21 at night. Here I am again. I want to read you guys a little poem today, followed up by a little story, of course. You know how we get down over here. I'm gonna read it out. It's actually over here, so you might see my eyes drifting a little bit, but that's okay. All right, the little poem goes: I was shocked, confused, bewildered as I entered heaven's door, not by the beauty of it all, nor the lights or its decor, but it was the folks in heaven who made me sputter and gasp. The thieves, the liars, the sinners, the alcoholics, and the trash. There stood, sorry, a second, there stood the kid from seventh grade who swiped my lunch money twice. Next to him was my old neighbor who never said anything nice. Bob, who I always thought was rotting away in hell, was sitting pretty on cloud nine, looking incredibly well. I nudged Jesus. What's the deal? I'd love to hear your take. How'd all these sinners get up there? You must have made a mistake. Hmm. And why is everyone so quiet, so somber? Give me a clue. Hush, child, he said. They're all in shock that you made it up here, too. Beautiful, isn't it? It's pretty sweet. I thought that was an amazing poem, and I actually just had to find it. My wife actually sent it to me in my messenger, and I had to go pull it up on my computer, which I didn't even have Facebook on. But I mean, what a story, what a truth to that. Um, the people that we see, I mean, even me, I mean, that we see, in our daily lives that we're, in our minds, at times we're like, man, this person is gonna burn, like, but God says, that's different. That ain't how it is. That ain't how He is. I got a few just little stories, little truths of mine in my life, my own personal life. For myself, growing up, I got disabilities, and but they're blessings. They're blessings. But the truth is that I grew up with all these disabilities with my legs, and throughout my life, there's been many different forms of rejections. Even in school, I used to. I remember when they were playing like dodgeball in school. Even football. Where I'd be the kid that would get picked last. Nobody wanted me on their team. They looked at my legs. They looked at my physical. They looked at what they seen. You know what I mean? And I got picked last, and I remember trying to sign up for football, and they're like, you can't play. And but in my heart, I felt like I can play. I've always been a strong person. But the way people perceive you, they see you. They don't. It doesn't seem like they want to see the outside. They don't want to know anything about what's going on with you. It's just this is how what we see, and this is how it is. And that continued through my whole life in many different instances. I wanted to join the military. As soon as I got 18, I wanted to join the military. And I went to the recruiting station, and they told me that I couldn't sign up. I'd be a liability. You know, and it bothered me a little bit, but I mean that's life. That's life. And through the years, I had to just take it as it came. Even just anybody that's ever been like bullied in school, or picked on for God only knows what. Kids are cruel at times. Period. You'll understand. What I'm saying. That you know people will just they'll torment you just because of your appearance, just because what they see. They see somebody that doesn't I guess fit in. They see us as different, and we don't fit into the to what they see. We're not normal. So they bully. All kinds of. I've been bullied in school throughout my whole school until I eventually left school, to be honest. And but that's life, that's just what it is. That's how it is. That's what it is, and it happens, a lot. It's unfortunate. It is, and I mean, obviously, those things need to stop. Don't know if they ever will. We could pray that they will. But that's just talking about a little bit about me, like how people have, even myself, have perceived me through my life. They've painted an image. And not all people are like that with me. I mean, I'm not saying everybody's like that, but it's happened a lot. Throughout my life. People will look at my handicap, and that's that. Like, that's it. I won't get hired for certain jobs, or I'll be mocked. By people. Still from this day. People will say things. They'll laugh, and it's like just seeing me walk. And it doesn't happen a lot anymore. I mean, believe that. I'm a grown man now. It's a little different, but it happens. I mean, bottom line, I remember a couple years ago, I took my son, my daughter, my wife, my aunt. We all went to it was a Hamburg Beach. We were having a good day, and I remember we were all heading back to the car, and our day it was a great day, and this full-grown adult was right next to me, and I didn't know who he was, and my son was right there sitting next to me, or walking with me, and this full-grown man was walking next to me, walked right next to me, and I mean right here, like he was walking right beside me, and then I was looking, and I was looking at the way he was walking, and he was walking like I walk, and I didn't say anything. I thought for a very brief moment this guy had a messed up leg like I did. And that wasn't the case. This guy was blatantly mocking the way I walked. And he was doing it. And then not only did he do that, but see, he didn't know the car I was in. He didn't know the car where my car was parked. And I had my cooler outside of my car. And he actually, mimicked the way I walked all the way till he got, ahead of me and got to my cooler, opened my cooler up and pulled out a drink out of my cooler. And I mean, I lost it. There's no doubt. I got pissed. I lost it. I wanted to fight. I got so angry because I couldn't believe, like, this man's a grown man. Like, and even his friends knew what he was doing was wrong. Like, his friends knew, and they told me, "Oh man, don't pay him no mind. This dude's messed up." And I mean, it bothered me. It bothered me a lot, but. Again, it happens. That's life. It's cruel. It's this prejudgment of people because of what we see. People will see things and something triggers in their brain, like to treat them differently, or, they don't see or want to see the person inside. They just see with the physical, and it's going to bring me, to my next point, and this is, my story time. There's this woman. I actually see her at St. Luke's, and she is, I guess, again, she is, by appearance, people would say, she's not socially fit. She has a lot of problems. She has mental disorders, and she has drug problems, and she is a prostitute. And it's sad. It's truly sad. And she speaks. She starts screaming like things. Very insane things at times. And I've got much experience. With mental addictions or not mental addictions, but mental sickness and addiction, and just people with problems. Bottom line, we all have problems. But then I look, and it's the longer I've seen this woman, and the longer she's been around, I've noticed that everybody kind of keeps their distance. Nobody wants to say hello. Nobody wants. They just stop at that's it. Just stop where you're at. You go that way, I'll go this way. We'll call it a day, and that's it. Don't come by me. And I get it. Like, I get it. sometimes it is hard. Like you don't want to put yourself in that situation and put yourself out there at all, like at times, period, because it is hard sometimes. But I've noticed, I spent a lot of time at St. Luke's, and I would sit outside the garages. They got a donation center over there, and she would come over by us, and I am so guilty at times where I just I wasn't in the right mood, I wasn't in the right headspace, and I just kind of wanted my distance. She'd come over, I'd walk away. But then there was many, many instances, more of the recent instances where she would come by and she would ask if she could sit, and I would say yes, you could sit down, please, sit down. And she would just start talking to herself, like she would just start talking, like, and she wasn't talking to any one of us, like she just would talk, like she had a mental illness. But the more she was talking, and she felt more comfortable to start talking then, to the guys we were sitting outside, and but then she started getting into some of her very personal, hurtful, very deep, tragic things, and she was, I guess, at a young age she was raped several times, and it continued, until she, got into her teen years and everything else, and then she ended up getting into drugs, and ultimately, she ends up, she's on the street, she's a street walker, and she still continues to, to say that she continues to get raped. Obviously in that lifestyle, it's very unhealthy and it's dangerous and it's sad. Just to realize that, she, it continues. It continues. But my point is that I can't just look at her because of the craziness that I see physically, what I could physically see, that she's, unstable as a person, and she's just crazy and drug addict and stay away from me. I'm not like that. I've never been like that. And I truly believe that Jesus doesn't see us like that. Like he doesn't see, obviously, like what we see, or we'd all be in trouble, to be honest. We'd all be in trouble, like, because we're all sinners. Every single one of us are sinners. Those without sin cast the first stone. We are all, we're all great sinners, period. We sin daily, every single day. And I guess it's not my job to judge you on your sins and all the things that you do. Yes, there's a time where if somebody is doing something that is very wrong, that you have to speak out on it. You don't just keep quiet and shell up and just let them be, because that can kill them too. And we have opportunities in those situations at times. But what I'm saying is that very similar to me as a child and a teenager, and until my adult years, people pushed me away because of my appearance and pushed me away because of what they seen and perceived me to be. And it's the same when I spoke with her, like, because that's what people do with her, period. They push her away immediately push you away. And it really, it's deep to me, because it's like Jesus saved, even Mary Magdalene, he saved her life. Like, he changed her life, he saved her life. And my job is to try to help to plant the seed. I'm not gonna change her. I'm not gonna change her. That isn't my job. My job is to help to try to plant that seed, so then God could work. God can change her. God could heal her. God could save her life. But in that moment, just the very, brief moments where she was talking and getting it out, she was venting, she was getting it out, because throughout the day, How many times have people said to her, get away from me, 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 you know, get out of my face, take a walk. And it's like I might have been the only person to sit there and listen to her, and so she can get it out. Like maybe that one thing, those few moments of that day, you know, helped her in some way. I don't know what way. I have no idea. That's where I trust in God, that God knows. I don't know. God knows, you know, God knows what he's doing. You know, I just don't. I don't know what I'm doing half the time, you know, and I got to trust in God. I got to trust that he, you know, he knows the way. You know, but what I'm trying to say is, you know, we can't judge people. I mean, we're not supposed to judge people, period. You know, and that doesn't mean like if somebody's doing wrong things that it's, you know, that you shouldn't speak out against it. Yes, we should speak out against the sin. Love the sinner. Speak out against the sin. But those moments with, like I said, she came over, she sat in my, you know, visibly, she wasn't doing anything sinful to me. She was just talking. She has a mental illness and a lot of pain to back it up. Like she, you know, she doesn't have people, like obviously, you know, I've been blessed with a support group of people, you know, that love me, that support me, you know, and without the people, my support group, honestly, I don't know if I would be here today. I don't know if I would be here today at all. I'd probably be dead. There's no doubt. And when I see like people, you know, like that, I always like try my best like to be that like open ear for them, like to talk to them, let them know like somebody's listening, somebody does care. Like I mean, I genuinely do. Like it's sad and it's unfortunate, like because I look at like, okay, yes, this woman has mental illness. I look at it that this woman has addictions, drug addictions. You know, I look at it as this woman's on the corner, you know, and she's getting into strange men's cars, like. And then I look at it as, and I'm like, man, she's been broken. Like, you know what I mean? She's been broken at a very young age, you know what I mean? And it's like she was raped like throughout her whole childhood. Like, and she never obviously had the support group. Like, she didn't have the backing, the support group behind her that helped her to like get the help she needed at a younger age, you know? And I can't really talk about the, I don't know like the help to really, how do you help? In that situation, how do you help? Like, you know, I'm not a woman. Like, I'm not a woman. I can't speak on that thing. I just know that if you had a support group in any way, like someone to support you through those times to help you get the help you needed, the drugs may have not came into the picture. The prostitution may have not came into the picture. You know, and it's tragic and it's a truth, but it's not my job to prejudge a person, you know, because of what, you know, I know about the person. Oh, I know this person is, you know, this or that. It's like, it doesn't mean that I shouldn't be human. It doesn't mean I shouldn't be a human being, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean I shouldn't show compassion and show love. Love conquers everything, you know, and it's not my job. I'm not the savior. I'm not God. He's God. I'm not, you know, but I am so willing to be a tool for him, like, because it's like we all need an ear. We all need a support group, people to support us, especially through tragic times, especially through those times. Those are the times that people really need other people, like to show love and caring. Like even if them, you know, 10 minutes, you know, every time I seen a lady, she sat down, talked in 10 minutes. Maybe that's the best 10 minutes she had throughout the whole entire day. Maybe that something in the conversation that I may have said may have planted a little seed, you know, and I got to trust that God takes care of that. He you know, he waters that seed. He takes care of that seed. And does that mean like suddenly she's just going to get all well? No, but something, God may be working. You know, God's always working, but God is the one in charge. I'm not. Like, and maybe he will do something that'll help to really bloom that seed, you know, and turn it into something very beautiful, you know. And we're human beings. Like we're very social, you know. We're a social creature, period. You know, we're supposed to be able to show that, like, and that's why we're here. We're here to help one another. Like, there's no doubt. Like, we're all here to help each other out. Like, all of us. We shouldn't be pushing people away. You know, we shouldn't be just, you know, get away from me, you know, because of this and because of that. I mean, why? Like, I mean, seriously, why? You know, we don't need to be like that as human beings, you know, as creatures of God. You know, Jesus obviously wasn't like that. Like, again, it goes back to Jesus. Like, you know, he showed us the way. He showed us how to be, like, very clearly. He showed us how to be. You know, he didn't push people away. You know, he said sin no more, for sure. You know, turn away from your sin no more. But he didn't push people away. You know, he gave people the opportunity to speak. You know, he listened to them, and there's like power in that. There's power in that. I'll tell you, there's been many instances in my own life where all I needed, people thought that everything in my whole life was buckling, and probably was. You know, but I'll tell you, there's been many instances where all I needed to do was talk to somebody. That's it. Just talk to somebody. That's all I needed internally is, I need an ear. I need somebody just to listen to me. You know, and the whole point of the story today is just saying, you know, don't be so quick to prejudge people. You know, don't be quick to prejudge people, you know, and because of things you might know about them. And I mean, we all are sinners. We all can change through Jesus Christ, period. We can all turn we can completely turn around our lives. We can completely turn around our lives with Jesus. So nothing is impossible. Look at the people in the Bible that Jesus used. I mean, it's all there. Like the fishermen, they weren't, you know, choir boys. They were fishermen. You ever watch Deadliest Catch? Like, they were fishermen. You know, they were some of the most vile men. Like, people didn't want to be around the fishermen. You know, they didn't want to hear the fishermen talking, and Jesus changed them all. Like, look what Jesus did with them. That's who he came for. He came for the sinner. Jesus didn't come for, you know, the righteous. You know, I don't even know who the righteous is, to be honest, but he didn't come for the righteous. He came for the sinful man and woman. Like, that's who Jesus came for. Like, you know, Jesus is a friend of sinners. And it's important, you know, and I don't know, there's just so many instances like that, like, and I'm sure we all have them, and I know we all have them, you know, and we need to be more, like, you know, I guess loving and compassionate, you know, and I'll start with me, you know, because I failed miserably many of times, you know, and it's like, and I regret it, you know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I could have approached that a little differently, you know, I could have approached that, you know, more lovingly, you know, but I didn't at those times, you know, and then there's been many other instances where I have, you know, and I'm sure all of yous have and haven't, you know, we're humans, you know, we're living this human experience, and we fail, you know, we're not perfect, and we just need to, like, you know, really focus in on humanity in a whole. Like, God's people, he put us here together for a reason. Like, he didn't seclude us. He didn't make us, you know, antisocial people. Some of us are. I mean, some of us just like to be by ourselves at times. I'm one of them. But he didn't create us like that. You know, Jesus created us to be very social, to help each other through this, you know, and we're all capable of that. We are capable of great things through Jesus Christ. You know, be there for one another, your brother, your sister, help them out. Like, you know, go out of your way at times, you know, just to, you know, make sure that they're okay. Call them, throw them a text, hit them up on Facebook Messenger, you know, because that's sometimes all people need. You know, people just can't be rejected the whole way through. Like, you know, that doesn't help anybody. You know, that doesn't help. It didn't help me. It did not help me at the time. You know what I mean? Because when you hear things, when you hear that you're a cripple, when you hear that you ain't getting on my, you ain't playing on my team, you know what I mean? When you hear those things, when you watch people mimicking the way you walk, like, it doesn't help. It doesn't help, and I thank God that God made me strong. Like, I thank him every day that he made me strong. I thank God for the people that tell me God made me strong. But the next person might not have that. The next person might not have that voice. They might not have that ear where they could talk to somebody, where somebody could tell them something nice, something, give them some kind of hope, inspire them in some kind of way. We need to, I guess, be vigilant. We need to be very vigilant in how we treat other people. I mean, we can all see it, even in society today. Like, there's people on every spectrum being treated terrible. Like, I don't care where you are, like, you're seeing it. You could see it on the TV. You could see it when you leave your house. You see it when you're in the stores. Sometimes you could see it even in the churches. Like, you could see it. It's not a good thing, but we're called, to be God's hands, his feet, his voice. We're called to do that, We're all disciples of Christ. We have righteous blood in us. We could do powerful things through Christ Jesus. Bottom line, and it starts with us. It starts with me. It starts with you. We could do great things through him, and we could help make this place a lot better. Bottom line, think about it just for a moment. Just think about that. If you started and then you got, you recruited someone else in your family or a friend, to jump on board, challenge yourselves, and start doing these things. And I'm not saying that you don't at all. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying maybe we are more vigilant in doing it more. Maybe that's the better way of saying it. Let's do it more. Let's do it more. Let's become a powerhouse. Let's make a statement. Who we serve. Let's become that statement. Let's be bold about it. Because where else are we going to be? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to live my whole life at the end of it just trying to get by, just trying to make it. Who am I fooling at the end? Myself. I don't know. That brings me joy, and I might be speaking for myself, but it brings me joy, to know that, something today I went out there and I made an impact on someone in a positive way. Even if I don't feel it inside that I'm feeling good, even if I feel that I'm on the edge myself, if I can go out there and help somebody else to get them off the edge, that's going to bring me up a little bit too, because that's how God works. God's amazing when he works, he ain't like how, we don't work like he works. But I'll tell you, it feels amazing just to help someone. I mean, and I guarantee you a lot of yous would agree. You go out and help somebody, it makes you feel good. Because that's what we really are. Think about that. It's one of the greatest feelings to help someone. For me it is. When you help someone and you know that you really help them, for me it's one of the greatest feelings that I have as a person, and I believe that's because that's what we are. That's what we are. We're not enemies. We shouldn't be fighting each other. We shouldn't be, in this constant battle. Because then the devil's winning. The devil's got his hand in it all. He's dividing God's people. God's people. That's who he's dividing. We need to stand against it. And that's standing with Christ firm and bold. Bottom line, and it starts with accepting people, and not judging people. Jesus made that clear. He made that very clear. Those without sin cast the first stone. We all have sin. None of us are worthy. None of us are worthy. We all are sinners. All of us. It's it's hard for me to call the next guy, oh, you're a sinner. We're all sinners. We're all sinners. So I can't look at you with a judgmental eye on your sin when I'm a sinner. That makes me a hypocrite. All right? Now, there's also repentance. Now we all got to try to repent from those sins. It's not just, okay, you're a sinner, I'm a sinner, we're okay with that. No, I'm not okay with the sin. I hate the sin. I love the sinner. I hate the sin. And that's what we're called to do. Hate the sin and love the sinner. You know, and because love conquers all. Don't prejudge people. You know, prejudging people on what we see or know about them. Show them love. Show them love. That's not you, you know, justifying their sin or you accepting their sin. You don't need to accept their sin. Just love the sinner. Let the love do its thing. Let Jesus do his thing through the love. That's more important to me than anything. Like, and I know that you know, it's important to Jesus. It's written. It's written, you know. Do unto others as you wish others to do to you. Like, I don't want people to treat me like garbage. You know, I want to treat people the same way I want to be treated. You know what I mean? With respect and dignity and love, kindness. You know, and that's important, especially today, in today's world. I mean, love goes a long way. You know, and let's just start being more vigilant, you know, of God's love. You know, take it as an opportunity. I mean, go out there and do something special. You know, and special is God's work. God's work is special. You know, God's work is the work that needs to be done, and I don't want to you know, miss the ball. You know what I mean? I don't want to miss the ball. You know, I want to do his work and know that I'm trying my best. I'm putting it out there. I'm doing what I can do to help to make this world, you know, to bring the kingdom of heaven down. You know, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Let's bring it down. Let's bring the kingdom of heaven down to earth. You know, let's bring it to people that ain't getting it. You know, people that ain't getting it, and people the people that are being pushed away and shunned from the world. Let's bring it to them. Let's take the love of Jesus and bring it to them. Those are the ones that need it. Those are the people that Jesus came for. Those are the people that Jesus came for. We're responsible to bring it to them. We're responsible to bring it to them through Christ Jesus. Bottom line. I love all of yous. I thank you all for listening. I thank you for the support I've been getting. You know, thank yous. Thank you so much. I honestly, it touches my heart. And there are great things, again, that are going to come. And I look forward to it. I'm actually very, like, you know, I'm stoked about it. You know, I've been getting some, you know, very, you know, nice comments about different things and, you know, different ideas and just different inspirations, you know, and tomorrow night, possibly tomorrow night, maybe Monday night, God willing, you know, I want to talk about, like, the child within. And that's going to be my next conversation, because it is so important, you know, about the child within us, you know. We're gonna do something. We're gonna do something sweet. It's gonna be special. I love all yous. God bless all yous. I'm gonna be heading to sleep. Go Bills. Play tomorrow. I know they're in Detroit right now. See if we can get this one done. I will see yous hopefully tomorrow or Monday. Again, God bless yous. It's the Deacon. I am out.